Hey everybody, and welcome to your indie snapshot for today. Today, we're taking a look at a game called Reus, or Reus, or Reus. I think it's Reus. And this is a 2D God game. It is currently available on Steam for currently $9. It will be $10 once the release sale ends, so nice and cheap. And it is a God game in the purest sense, and I mean that quite literally. A lot of God games have you playing as the god as well as managing troops, and it's more of an RTS than anything else. What Reus does that's relatively different and I really like is gives you the role of literally playing God and creating a world for your people to live in, and then watching them interact with each other, experimenting with the world around them, and if needed, destroying the towns and the land around them if they're causing too many problems. But without explaining too much, let's jump into the game and we'll kind of talk about it as we play. So in the game, you're playing as a planet. Let me do this first. So there are two modes, like a timed challenge mode that's 30, 60, and 120 minutes, all of which kind of just like challenges, and free play mode, which is what I prefer. There's also a tutorial. There it is, beginning. There's a tutorial that I highly suggest playing. It'll take you about an hour to get through all three parts of the tutorial, and it helps explain a lot. And this game, in my opinion, needs a little bit of explaining, but that's why the tutorial's there. So, we're going to jump into free play mode where we don't have a tutorial to worry about. And as I was saying, you play as the planet that awakens the giants after the planet itself has died. The planet is essentially losing life force and needs to muster the rest of its energy to awaken the four giants: the giant of the ocean, the giant of the forest, the giant of the swamp, and the giant of the mountain, and using them to make the planet habitable again and bring life back to the planet. So we're going to hit key to start, and yep, we can hit OK, and we are going to awaken all four giants immediately. So one of the cool things I want to just point out is the way this game looks. The game is quite gorgeous. It's got a simplistic animation style, but the bright colors, the gorgeous not 16-bit art style, which I actually am enjoying a nice little break from, the cartoony looking art style, really works well for the game and definitely works in its favor. We can zoom out here. As you can see, it's 2D, and it is the entire planet that you're going to be playing on. Now, one of my original concerns was that the game, especially with being a huge strategy game buff that I am, one of my biggest concerns was that the world was going to end up being too small, but those concerns have been alleviated. So, as you can see, the planet itself is a barren wasteland. There is no habitation. If we click on any patch of these lands, it's going to tell us it's a wasteland. There's nothing here. So it is our job to make it habitable, and there's two ways to do that immediately. One is to make an ocean with the ocean giant, and two is to make a mountain with the mountain giant, and in turn, that will create a desert plains around it. But we're going to go with the ocean first. Let's just go make an ocean right here. By hitting the Q, one of the abilities that our giant has, we can just click on this patch of land, and he's going to go ahead and dig, and he is going to create an ocean. And one of the key aspects of this game is something called Symbiosis, where, if you know the term, basically one thing gets better because of another thing, and they both are better off with each other. So as you can see, one of the things that happened, just by zooming out, is around the ocean, an area around it got darker. That's considered damp land, a land that we can work with. And one of the things you can do with damp land is turn it into a forest. And that's what we're going to do right here with the forest giant, the monkey-looking guy. We can make this area a forest. So if we hit Q, which raises a forest, it's going to show us a little highlighted area. And we want to line it up pretty much perfectly with the damp zone. And with the wave of his magical monkey hands, his tree-like monkey hands, we create a forest. So slowly becoming habitable. Now, if we take a look at the upper left, there's something saying right here, this little symbol basically means that there is a nomad wandering the land, and he's basically looking for an area to settle the first village. Now, in order to do that, he needs a habitable landscape, which we just created, and he needs a food source or a wealth source, one of the two, one way or another. So, we're going to give him a food source. We can do that right away with the forest giant. We can give him some fruit, which we're probably going to do. We also can give him some animals as well. We can also give him, there we go, domesticated animals, what I was looking for, to give him the ability to do. But you know what, just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to give him fruit, and there's a reason I'm going to do this. So we're going to drop down some fruit right here. And with that, we should be able to get the village up and running pretty simply. Let's take a look. So with fruit now and habitable land, here they come. They're off their boat. As you can see, we can zoom in nice and close. And here they come. They're going to settle a city. A forest village has settled. Forest villages often start projects that require food. So depending on where the villages start, they kind of have a alike for a particular resource. Try using fruit plants and domestic animals within the village borders. Press the red cross to not show this tip again. We'll hit the red cross. So, when a city settles, a few things are going to pop up. One, its boundaries. And this is where you see the watchtower. We can actually click right here. This is, if you look at the highlighted area, that's where the village ends. It also is marked with water towers, with watchtowers rather. And over here where the buoys are, that's where it's going to end as well. It is also going to give you an idea of what's going on. We're going to pause the game by hitting space real quick. It's also going to give you a quick idea of what's going on. So it can use a maximum of 15 food right now, and it is using 2. It is getting 5 from here and 10 apparently from over here, which is interesting. So it can use up to 15 food. It's getting, I don't know where it's getting 10 from, maybe just because of this project itself, but we'll get to that in a minute. It's also relatively happy and also has about 5 technology it can use. Now, it's very similar in Civilization that there's going to be wealth, food, and technology, but unlike Civilization, where you're the settlers looking to use that, it's like you are the gods of Civilization. You are the ones providing food, wealth, and technology to the people that are settling your land, civilizing your land, so to speak. We can also take a look over here that there is food in use, wealth in use, technology in use. Your greed, are they greedy? Greed of the village, the more greedy red faces, the greedier this village is. Basically, a long story short, if a village gets too successful too quickly, they can become very greedy, and they can get very warlike, and they will go to war with other villages. We can take a look at their awe. Each awe allows the village to grow a bit faster without increasing greed, which is really good. The difference between a resource and the resource in use is smaller than 20 plus awe. The village will not get greedy. The strength of their army and the defenses. They are not war makers right now. They are not in any particular danger. The village is currently peaceful, and they respect us as giants. And this down here is kind of like the progression of the town. So if the danger's at this level, there's no threat. This is, I meant not the progression of the town, I'm sorry. What I meant is the, what do you call it? The danger of the town. If it's red at this level, basically green, yellow, and red alert, essentially. So we've got Lush Peak. They've settled, and immediately they started a project. Now, each town, as they settle, will start projects. And it is up to you to let them finish the projects. Now, what the projects will do will allow the town to get extra stuff. So, this one right here, this project, if finished, it is a school. It gives a cooking class, which is plus 10 food and plus 5 tech for each plant within the borders, stacks up to 3 times, which is exactly why they're going to be getting more food. So, we don't have to really worry about it yet. It's not... Is the school done, or is it building? It's going to require food and use and technology. So once these objectives up here are met, which is timed by 10 minutes, it will then build, and you'll get the bonuses that it's allowed. All right. So we've got that going. The town is going to be prospering. Now, what is the purpose of this outside of giving the town a bonus? If this project is completed within the time limit, you will get something called an ambassador. And that ambassador, once we get it, I'll show it to you. What it does. So we're going to take our rock giant, we're going to move him out here, and we are going to create a desert village by creating a mountain. And on the other side, we're going to take our swamp monster man, and we are going to create, there we go, whoops, a new nomad is roaming the planet, look for a place to settle, blah, 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 gotcha. Now every time, okay, this is something important, we got a new nomad. How do you get new nomads? Quite simply, this bar up here is dictated by prosperity. The more prosperous a town, the more prosperity you get, quite simply explained. You can even hover over and see how you're getting it. 5 or 6 by food and use, and 1 for technology and use. Basically, every technology and whatever you use, you're going to get a prosperity. Once that blue bar in the top left fills up, you get a new nomad. So we're going to create a swamp village here and a desert village out there. So we're gonna make either one. So with a desert village, they're best used with wealth. So we're going to give them some minerals to mine, which is going to be useful for them. By precious minerals is what we want to give them. Here we go. We'll give them some precious minerals. And we're going to get another town going here. There we go. We're going to take a look at the school here. How's it going? 3 out of 15. 3 out of 5. I'm pretty sure that's going to finish. So with some minerals, this town is going to settle, which is good. Now, one of the things I actually want to show off is the symbiosis of this game. So, we have created blueberries. Quite simply, you can click on it, and it says a symbiosis. So, it's a grove, plus 10 food if next to an apple tree, a dandelion, or a strawberry. Now, in order to provide that, we can put... okay, so we can't actually do it here, which is actually unfortunate. So maybe somewhere else. Let's take a look over here. Here's a mineral. Let's see. Activates a symbiosis within 5 gold within use, which is probably going to happen in a bit, since it will build within the town borders. So I'll try to explain it quite simply over here. So say I had another blueberry bush next to this. I will then be able to give it the leaf aspect, which I can do here. And I'm going to do that right now. Giving it the leaf aspect will give it a little bit of technology and some food. But more importantly, when you give a plant or something an aspect, you are then able to transmute it into something. So if I had a blueberry bush next to here and I transmuted this into strawberries, I would then get the symbiosis of plus 10 food from that blueberry. So we've got a trade posts challenge that started. Let's take a look at this challenge over here. It needs 10 wealth, which is simple enough. That should do it on its own. So all these towns are looking quite nice. Now we do have a swamp over here, which we could do something with, but more importantly, I think what I want to do is use him to create some domesticated animals right on the shore to give this town a little bit more food. I think he'll be able to do that nicely. There we go. He's going to create some fish. Basically, fishermen can now go and fish. Let's see. Upgrade the plant with the growth aspect. We don't really have to worry about that right now. So we're going to give this town a little bit more food. And they're not greedy, which is really good. We have to maintain that. And that's a lot of what this game is just making sure a town is prosperous without it getting kind of out of control. So it looks like this is going to be... Oh, it needs 30 wealth. It needs 30 wealth. So how can we make this better? Transmute it. Okay, so we could probably turn this... Makes a mineral rise from the ground. Precious minerals provide tech. So we could potentially... What is this going to do? So we want to basically turn this into something. By giving it some sort of... Much like fruit, we need to give this some sort of aspect. We can hit advanced mineral maybe, and we'll see what that's... Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that, but that's fine. Alright, that didn't change anything. What I want to do is hit E and see what that's going to do. There we go. We gave it technology instead, it seems. We actually want to give it... Alright, so basically we have 2 types of minerals. One for technology and one for wealth. We want to make sure it's wealth that it's getting. So we're going to wait for this to come on cooldown, and we're going to replace this with the precious metal, essentially. So we're gonna wait a little bit here, and then what's this? Move. Okay. Then we're gonna replace this right here. What happened? Did I hit the wrong button? Why don't you just do that? Oh, I tried to raise a mountain. I didn't mean to do that. Oops, I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was curious why they were freaking out, but it looks like the reason they were freaking out is because I tried to raise a mountain on them, which means I destroyed their village, unfortunately. And hopefully they'll be able to come back from it. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean it. You see them freaking out. They're not freaking out anymore, which is good. All right, we're going to leave them alone now and come check on our other town, the ones that are a bit more successful. How are they looking? Let's see. This is already met. They've already got the food they need in use. And they need more technology. They need a lot more technology. Let's see. What can I give them for technology? The swamp monster might be able to give them some technology. So we can give them a plant from the swamp monster that will give them some sort of tech, which is extremely useful. Though the question is, I'm going to do it over here because I'm not entirely sure. Again, with Symbiosis, we want to make sure that they have the ability, we have the ability to attach something next to it if possible. So we're going to give them an herbs. The herbs are going to give them, hopefully, the ability to get some technology. We got them some herbs, and let's take a look. We got them dandelions. With dandelions, plus 8 tech and plus 4 nature if next to a plant, which is fine. We can definitely put a plant right next to it. We're going to move him, and we're going to put a plant right next to the herbs. Perfect. Bam. Done. That's going to, there we go. Perfect symbiosis. And if we can give them the toxic aspect... Nope. See, so what this needs, in order to make this a more we can basically turn this into more food or more technology. In order to turn it into more technology, it needs to have the lesser toxic aspect. But we can't get that right now, because the lesser toxic aspect is locked. And the way we get that is getting ambassadors, which is what we're trying to do in the first place. But we should be able to be fine now, because we have the ability to simply just collect the rest of the technology from here. And let's talk about targets. which worries me a little bit. I'm curious why they're talking about targets. They're not really warring. Alright, so we have an ambassador that's appeared. With the ambassador... Whoa. They're actually super excited. Where is the ambassador? Ah, there it is. So, the ambassador. If we click on a monster and we hover over it, it'll show the ability it'll unlock. This is going to unlock Crystal Aspect. Unlocks with a Forest Ambassador. So basically, a Forest Ambassador will unlock one particular ability, a Swamp will unlock another, etc., etc. And giving the Ambassador to a Giant, only one Giant can take it, will unlock a particular ability. So with this, we could take one that's going to give more food. We could take one that's going to give Reaction Aspect. Swamp Giant unleashes a Reaction Aspect with upgraded minerals, which is also useful. So we'll give him to the Swamp, because we need more minerals in the other town anyway. So there we go. He's going to have the ability now to have Reaction. Nature's looking promising, but it could do better. Basically, it's telling me I need more Symbiosis, which is totally fine. Are these guys still rebuilding? Looks like they are. They want a trade post. They need 30. What we're going to do now, hopefully, with this Reaction Aspect, is upgrade minerals with the upgrades. With upgrade minerals. So we're going to give the Reaction Aspect to this section right here, giving it to the mining thing, whatever, giving it to the resources, and then we can, which gave a technology instead, which was not what I was hoping for, but that's fine. What we're going to have to do then is just give them some precious minerals in general, and that'll just give them the money they need, so we hope. Boom. More minerals. That's going to give them 18. Oh, look at that. Putting two minerals next to each other actually gave them Symbiosis. Plus 8 extra wealth when next to another quartz. So that's actually really good that we actually put them next to each other. A little bit of experimentation, but gave them a ton of wealth. They're going to have a trade post going up very shortly, which is going to give us another ambassador. On the other hand, what we could do is add some more domestic animals over here. And with domestic animals on the swamp side, what that will probably end up doing is adding a village over here. We do have a wanderer somewhere, I'm pretty sure. Looks like we should. Yep, there he is. We're going to have a swamp village now. We're going to have our third village finally, which is nice. There we go. Swamp village has settled. Swamp villages often start projects that require technology. So as you can see, forests are food, deserts are wealth, and we have technology as swamps. And the desert ambassador has appeared. Alright, good. We have the ability to... So we have Darkshire that's settled, but we have a trade post now, which is going to allow them plus 15 wealth for each mineral within the borders, stacks up to 3 times. So this is a very, very, very rich city, and as you can see, they're already a little bit greedy because of it. We're going to take a look at the school challenge here in a minute. We're going to pause the game and take a look at exactly what we need here. Let's take a look. So this is going to unlock the ability for Noble Aspect. Unlock with the Desert Ambassador. Actually, we're going to take the Noble right away because we're actually going to upgrade one of these minerals and make this town extremely rich, which I'm okay with, because I think we can manage their greed pretty simply. If worse comes to worse, we can drop an Earthquake on them. Each god has one aggressive ability. Earthquake is one of them. So we're going to hit S. We're going to turn this into something else. Boom. Give it a Noble Aspect, and we can now turn it into Topaz, which is going to giving more wealth and awe. Awe is good because it will prevent they won't get too greedy. So we're going to hit that Topaz, and now they're mining away some Topaz. Let's take a look at their greed. So they're a little bit greedy. We got to be a little careful. We can kind of let them do that for now. Let's head over to the school project and see what they need. They need technology and food. And they only have about 4 food, so in order to grab food, we're going to want to grab our monkey and make him come over here. If I had one relatively annoying complaint, is that these giants move slow, but not so much so that it's a big deal. We're going to drop some more food over here, and they need, what, 15 technology, so we can definitely pull that off. Let's bring the swamp monster over here as well, and we're going to put down some herbs next to here, because if it's next to a plant, we can get some, there we go. We can get some technology going. So they got food now, which is good, and having the swamp monster make his way over is good. And as you can see, I've only put down 3 towns, and I still have about half the planet left over. So my initial concerns of the game being dangerous, or dangerously small, is really unwarranted. So we got one project going, and we have 3 towns. We can get a quick overview, by the way, by clicking on this and taking a look at them. And like I said, it's more about managing the land and watching your you know, these peons, these living creatures kind of flourish, and if they get out of control, you can destroy them. It's a very experimental game, like I said, a god game in the purest sense, in that you have the ability to just destroy and create at your whim, which is something I personally enjoy. God games like that, I love. This is the reason I love Dust a lot. Dust was one of my favorite games to play because of that ability. So we have, let's see, it has the ability +7 food and +3 if next to an animal nest, which we actually could do. And we have Peppermint, which is +7 technology, and we could transmute it. We could transmute both of these into something. So we're going to actually give one of them the leaf aspect here. I think we're going to turn these here into more food. We might as well leave these as more food, giving them more food to work with. Boom. Now they have a little bit more food. And how's their project? What do they need? They need 15, so they still need just a bit more food, which is fine. Their borders go to here. We can definitely drop a bit more food. You know, how about we give... Can we give this one the the leaf aspect as well, providing some more food, hopefully. If we do, what will it do? Boom, done. It got more technology. It didn't get much more food. We just need... I think we have enough technology for the school to prosper, which we do. We definitely have enough. It's just going to be the food situation. So, we might as well drop another plant right here. There we go. And then we can give it the leaf. No, that's going to be enough food. We don't have to worry about it yet. That's going to be enough to give us another ambassador. And we'll have the ability to kind of deal with it. Now, these towns' borders are relatively close. The only one I'm worried about going to war is going to end up being this one, but their greed has gone down significantly. And as time goes on, these towns are going to get better and more large and prosperous, like I said before. Upgrade any patch with a fertility boost. Aspect abilities have better effects. So we give something a fertility boost. So, essentially, this is basically how the game plays out. It's all about you managing, like I said, the world and making it a prosperous living place. I'm going to save the game right now because I'm actually having fun here. Mathis. And I'm going to end up playing it in a bit, but I want to show you some of the destructive capabilities that these giants have. And I highly suggest you check it out too. As if you're into these games, man, you should definitely already be getting it. So, if I want to destroy a town, I can quickly hit F, and then I can just earthquake the hell out of them. Earthquakes do more damage to structures than anything, but you also have the abilities, boom, Warmouth has been destroyed. We also have the abilities to drop some nuclear bombs, basically, some biological weapons. Muck Bomb, which we can then drop a Muck Bomb over here. And boom, drop a Muck Bomb. It's going to kind of give them disease. It's going to do damage over time. They're going to freak out. Things are not going to go so well for them. Things are going to go on fire. And it's going to take a lot longer to destroy something with that as opposed to Earthquake. We got, what, a university one? Oh, good. So they've already decided to start building a university now, which is nice. We're upgrading slowly. But that's it. That's the game. Again, God game in its purest sense. It's only $10. I mean, that's what? A little bit of gas in your tank? Go grab it. It's so worth it. It's a game I've had the pleasure of playing. And maybe in the future you'll see more of this game on my channel, but for now I have my schedule's a bit packed with games. So maybe after Game Dev Studios finished up, we'll play a little Reus. But I've enjoyed it thoroughly. Thank you so much, guys, for checking it out. I'm having a blast with the game, and I'm sure you guys will if this is your type of game. There's a lot of strategy involved, a lot more depth than what I thought was going to be involved in this game. And the feeling of being omnipotent and powerful is one of the most fun feelings you can have. So thank you guys for sticking by, and I will see you next time.